And the thing about Raheem Sterling is much of his development has been credited to Mikel Arteta. He's come out to say that himself as well. And we all know Mikel Arteta is the one that kind of works that one-on-one individual work with them. He's built this great relationship with all the players in the dressing room. And it just seems as though, again, we go back to Man City losing their mojo. And it just seems as though perhaps there is some sort of effect from Mikel Arteta leaving Pep Guardiola as his assistant. Matt, is that how you see it?
I think it's a very valid point. You know, if Mikel is the one that's doing those one-to-one sessions with players and he's built up the trust over a little bit of time, then obviously losing him is going to have an effect on those players, because somebody's going to have to come in to replace him and do that job that he was doing. And it takes time to build that rapport and that trust between the player and the coach. So there's definitely some truth in the fact that, you know, perhaps City's form has dipped since Mikel left.
So they did take a while to kind of replace that number 2 for Pep Guardiola, and a man called Juan Manuel Lelo. What do you know about him, Sylvain?
I don't know much. I don't know much about him, but I think the point you raised before is a really strong point. I feel like Mikel was seen as more like a player than a member of the staff, and he was supposed to be the link between the players and the staff. And that's very, very important in the club, because you never have the same relationship with your manager or with the staff than you can have between the players. And Mikel was possibly more seen as a player who just stopped than a staff, and that helped the communication. And I'm sure the players were quite close to him. And we've seen it actually. We heard all the players when he left speaking about him, and it seems like he was unanimous, like someone who just was one of the lads.
I mean, who was that role for you in your playing days then, Sylvain? Who was it that wasn't a manager but played such a big role in your career that left such an impact on you? Do you remember?
Well, for me, it was when I first arrived in England. It was Alan Shearer. He didn't mean to, but he was making sure that the players who arrived learned the hard way, and possibly the one who are not strong enough will be pushed to the side. But that was his way to make sure that everybody just go in the same direction. And it was when I arrived, he had big charisma, and he was a real man, you know. And I remember a few years ago I was collecting his stickers, and then I ended up playing alongside him, and I was a bit starstruck. And his charisma, his attitude during training as well, for me, has been a massive inspiration.
Do you show him those stickers, by the way?
No, I didn't. I was too shy, to be honest. I really wanted to, but I was too shy.
So what was it then? How did he sort of help you in a day-to-day in terms of getting your foot on the ground and getting things going here in England? What did he say to you?
It was a bit different, you know. I arrived in England 20 years ago. It was different mentality, different type of players. I think nowadays you can't act like that around players. They need a tap on the shoulders to tell them well done, even if they haven't done necessarily really well. And at my time, it was you learn the hard way. You come, you just have to give your best, and if not, you're gonna have players who tackle you hard during training. You're gonna have senior players who's gonna make you understand that it's not the right way. I don't think you can act like that nowadays. I feel like the players are, I would not say soft, but it's just mentally they are a completely different place. They've got a lot more arrogance and a lot more sense of security that we could have at my time, but at the same time they are way more fragile. So it's a completely different type of players now.
So what was it? What advice did Alan Shearer give you then?
Well, I could not speak English, so I didn't hear any of his advice. But it was just the way he was. You know, he was a leader on and off the pitch. And
did he try to speak you English? Did he try to teach you English?
No. Oh, no, not at all. No, I had to learn myself. No, he wasn't the type of player who will take you under his arm and just tell you, well done, keep going. It was just like hard with himself and with people around him. But that just made you feel like this is the way you have to be, and you have to learn quickly if you want to be able to adapt to the Premier League and to England as well, because it was a different country for me.
Do you feel that the approach to players now has changed so much since your days then, Matt?
I think there's definitely a change in mentality. I agree with Sylvain. You know, I know he mentioned that he didn't want to use the word soft, but it is a different mentality in this day and age. I think we were brought up on a very different way of learning the game, a different way of coaching. a different way of being man managed, and I think that's the biggest change for me. It's been that man management. I think it has. We were kind of brought up on tough love, and you know it was kind of drilled into you that you never let the opposition see that you're hurt. You know, so if somebody's hurt you on a pitch, you know, you don't go rolling around the pitch. You stand up and you let them know you're ready for another challenge. And it's a very different mentality in today's football. And that's not to say one is completely better than the other. But it's interesting that he was talking about Alan Shearer there and not being able to understand him because he didn't speak English. Well, I can tell you, I spoke perfect English when I first met Alan Shearer, and it took me a while to understand what he was saying in that accent, I can tell you.